Hi there, mates. A few hours ago, Elon Musk did live stream that version 12 FSD beta, and we're going to see all about that in this video. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is National Tesla Gong. Elon did fulfill that promise, and along for the ride was Ashok Ilsami of Tesla AI. Both of them did the demo of version 12 FSD beta. The video is on X, but I want you to watch my particular video, and I have reasons for that. One, because Elon did keep changing that orientation, and that may be a little disorienting for people. So I have cleaned it up and made the orientation nice and static so that you can watch it in an easy fashion. Two, I have also added my own perspective from my beta FSD testing and added that so that it gives a little bit of perspective to what Elon was showing, particularly things like the construction side, things like the road bumps, things like cyclists and avoidance, and so on and so forth. Some of the things that Elon explains are just mind-blowing, but there is a small flaw as well. There was an intervention in this video, and I'm going to point that out, and I'm going to tell you why it's not too bad. Let's do this.
All right, I think we are now live. Right. And I think it's maybe better to go horizontal. We see more horizontal than vertical. All right, hey guys. So let's see, and you can sort of read some of the comments there. All right, let's see. So here we are. We're just leaving Tesla headquarters, and we just dropped a random pin at Stanford or whatever. We can clear that though, and I don't know. Again, I'll just AI end to end. Let's see how it does. So let's go. Well, let's see. Okay, so here we're kind of, let's see, added to kind of random spot. That's going to be pretty wobbly. But it's really smooth sailing in the car itself. And here we're encountering some construction, and the car is just driving around the construction. So it has never seen this construction before. Okay, it is near the headquarters, but this construction is relatively new.
Okay, on the road too, there's a cone on the road. Let's see what it does. There's construction site happening here. Let's see if we can actually see the construction site, because we did do one construction run and it really didn't do the construction site very well.
This is a good test.
Wow!
Wow. Wow.
This is wow!
And it's not exactly the right lane, but now it's going over to the right lane. Okay, great. You can see the destination. Hopefully nobody meets us there. Let's see, is this working? Is this live stream working? Hello?
You can check on this. It's working. Yeah, this picture.
I mean, obviously it's a little boring because we're at a red light. And there's a lot of traffic this time. So, I don't want to bore people to death here, but we're just sitting at a red light in Palo Alto. Yeah, I think like the videos like this are maybe more interesting if they're edited and sped up.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'll try to answer comments if I see comments. Man, this is a long rant. Well, the car is patiently waiting for the car light to change. And, yeah.
On green, it's green now. Okay. Oh. Oh. No, it didn't shiver. It didn't sort of try to do anything silly.
It's very smooth.
It was very smooth. I did not expect this.
Made a good left. It's kind of hard to tell maybe from the live stream, but the car is driving very smoothly. I think we'll rely on others to take this video, edit out the boring bits, and speed it up. And smooth right there. Entirely AI and cameras. Just like our brain works, which is neural nets and eyes. Yep, I just slow down for a speed bump, which is cool. I have to slow down for another speed bump. And we did not program in, there's no line of code that says slow down for speed bumps. So it is doing this based entirely on video training. Yeah, and there's a bicyclist. Again, there is no line of code that says give clearance to bicyclists. It is just doing what people do. It can read science without ever being taught to read. Once again, there is no line of code that says stop at a stop sign or wait for another car.
Who came first?
So who came? There's not like wait X number of seconds. Nothing like that. Nothing. This is all nets, baby. Nothing but nets.
Yeah.
And when we get to our destination, we'll change the pin. As like drop it somewhere else random. Maybe we'll run into Zuckerberg and we can challenge him to a fight. That'd be fun. Spice it up. He's not traveling somewhere to his backyard. So here we are at a roundabout. So roundabouts are obviously pretty complicated.
It's needed for those two cars.
Yep, it just waited for those two cars to go and then did the turn. Again, I'm being somewhat repetitive about this, but we have never programmed in the concept of a roundabout. We just showed a whole bunch of videos of roundabouts. So a lot.
Big fleet helps.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need a lot of training data, a lot of video training data in order to make this work. And you need really billions of dollars of training hardware, and you need to know how to run the neural net training hardware. So it's not like easy, but the mind-blowing thing is that there's no heuristics. There's no like lines of code. Like there's a guy on a scooter. It doesn't know what a scooter is. It doesn't know what paddles are. It's literally just been given a lot of video. So. And it's doing all of this on hardware 3 with about 100 watts of inference compute. So it's not like, obviously, it's not some like massive data center. And if we were offline, there would be no difference. This is locally, all the inference that's happening is local. It does not need an internet connection. And obviously that's necessary because if you lost your cellular internet connection, the car needs to drive safely. But we could be somewhere where there is no internet connection, and it's never seen the roads before. It doesn't matter.
Runs at 36 FPS.
Oh yeah, we're running at the full frame rate, so it's taking 8 cameras at 36 frames per second. Yeah. The pure AI version runs faster than the version that is a mixture of normal software and AI. In fact, it would run it faster than 36 frames per second, except the cameras are currently only capable of 36 FPS. Our current, back of the envelope frame number is we think it could probably run at 50 frames a second, so but the reality of the roads are basically designed around 24 frames a second. Basically, it's similar to we got to our destination, so I'll just pick a new destination here. There's like some sort of random place here. Yeah. I'm like, hello, assassins. If you want to get me, now's your chance. You just need to be in Palo Alto. Like this, the assassin count is low in Palo Alto. So we're just, Ashok just dropped a sort of random pin. We don't know where we're going really. Just somewhere in Palo Alto. But it's just also worth noting, and Ashok, you may want to actually sort of provide some commentary as well. But we've got test drive, FSD 12 test drivers around the world. So we've got people in, I think, like New Zealand and like Thailand and Norway, Japan,
everywhere. Because you should generalize. The concept of driving is general. You don't need to just do it in the US. You could do it everywhere simultaneously.
Right. Exactly. Just like a human can go travel to a country they've never been to before and rent a car and drive around. It'd be, maybe not quite as good as someone local, but you can still rent a car in a foreign country and drive around. And we just have like some students over there that one of them stumbled briefly into the road and the car drove around them. Lovely day in California. The beautiful Stanford campus. Playing a little Four Seasons. Change the.
Pretty soon you'd add also instructions following, so you could say lane change to the leftmost lane. Or, pull over here or something like that. The car should even respect those kinds of commands.
Yeah, exactly. So here we're at a roundabout. Car is I've never been to this roundabout before, and the car is not specifically trained on this roundabout.
Yeah, and then once it's our turn, it just proceeds.
Yeah, exactly. So it waited for the correct amount of time, drove smoothly around the roundabout. I will be somewhat repetitive, but there is no line of code that says this is a roundabout. There is nothing that says wait, X number of seconds, which is what we have in the explicit control stack. That's the sort of version 11. There's over 300,000 lines of C++ in the explicit control stack of version 11, and there's basically none of that in version 12.
Yeah, and just because there's no lines of code doesn't mean that it's not controllable. It's still quite controllable on what you want by just adding data. Now you have to program with data instead of programming with code.
Yeah, data curation.
Yeah.
And then whenever we find that there's something, say if the car doesn't perform perfectly, we give it more examples of what it should do in that situation, and updates the weights, and then it works.
Yeah, and also we have labelers cleaning and making sure that all the data that goes in is the good driving data, not the bad drivers from the world. There are bad drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important. The quality of the data is very important. So large amounts of mediocre data do not improve driving.
Yeah, it's quite the opposite actually.
Yeah, it makes it worse. So that's why the data curation is actually quite difficult. And I should say that there is quite a bit of software around what data, so selecting what data to train the system with. So
the software that runs in the car is minimal, but the software in the back end to train is much larger and much more sophisticated.
Yeah, exactly. So we do use normal software for C++, basically for Python for deciding what data to select from the fleet, and then figuring out, well, what is the high quality data versus the pretty good data.
And once we have a model, we also ship those models in shadow mode to the cars, and then every time it disagrees with what the user did,
yeah, exactly,
then you can get the data back, and then kind of that is more valuable than just collecting random data.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we feel good about actually having a very rapid virtuous cycle where when there is an intervention in the fleet, with that intervention automatically being uploaded to training, being integrated with training, and then updating really just the weights. So it's not the binary that's changing; it's the weights. It's not the execution binary; it's just really the weights. So I have not intervened once, and the drive has been butter smooth. Again, being somewhat repetitive, we're repetitive about being repetitive, in fact, but we have not programmed in the concept of traffic lights. So there's not like, oh, this is a red light, this is a green light, and this is traffic light position. We have that in the normal stack, but we do not have that in V12. This is just video training. Like I said, nothing but neural nets. And yet it knows which light flies to it, and it stops at a red light, accelerates at a green light. Now, one of the sort of maybe slightly funny challenges we've had is that...
So if you watch the video thus far, you would know that Tesla does not code a problem or code a solution to a problem, but they give more data to the neural net and train it so that it trains to sum out the problem by itself. It is like training AI, and that is the most mind-blowing part of this. And the next part of this video, both Elon and Elon explain what they are doing in a stop sign. And it is important to note this and hear this carefully because it plays a part in the very last part of this video where Tesla does do something silly. There is one intervention in this video, don't forget that. This is a 45-minute video with one intervention. It's still phenomenal, but the one intervention may be explained by this particular thing that Tesla is explaining or Elon is explaining to us. Listen to that.
Since the car is being trained on what humans do, humans almost never stop fully at a stop street. So when they get to a stop sign, humans actually almost never go to 0 miles an hour. They may think they did, but usually they're doing at least a few miles an hour at a stop, coming up to a stop street. Sometimes people go faster than that, but the regulators are they're quite insistent that we go to come to a complete stop at stop signs, and when we looked at the data, only 5% of the time do humans actually stop fully.
Even lower than that.
Oh,
0.5%.
0.5%? Wow. Okay, so basically, people almost never fully stop at stop signs. So we had to.
Even if you look at those data, it's like a lot of them come to a stop and they get on their phone or something. It's not just regular people doing the stops.
Yeah, they might semi-stop and then move a little bit and that kind of thing. So we had to poll the fleet for rare examples that less than 1% of the time when people actually come to a full stop, and artificially train the system to stop at stop signs at the insistence of the regulators. Like I said, it's a little slow because we're driving around, basically rush hour. Intervention. Sorry. Okay, so that's our first intervention because the car should be going straight.
Yeah. So this model has small regression in the traffic lights. Okay. Traffic lights. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it was aided a little bit by the guys behind, and they did stop for a little bit.
Oh, it didn't see the red
It
light.
didn't see-
Didn't see
it ran the red
It ran
light.
the red.
it ran the red. Oh, sweet, sweet Tesla. How could you do that?
That's why we don't release it to the public yet. So an intervention at this traffic light. That's the first intervention in the whole drive.
Mergers.
Yeah, so it just did a merge, traffic merge, super smooth. So for that intervention that we just had, the solution is essentially to feed the network a bunch more video of traffic lights. So that was a controlled left controlled left turn, where there was a green light for the left turn, but not a green light to go straight. And so we'll feed it a bunch of video of controlled left turns, and then it'll work.
The next tool we're going to do the shadow mode release, where we're going to run this network in the background and then check when, for example, in this case, we would have wanted to go, but then the driver would not have gone. So we can just check that, okay, then we can get the data back into the labels, and the labels say who was correct.
Yeah.
And that helps that we should not have gone. So you don't have to even get the information. You can just passively observe what we want to do, and this is what happened in reality.
So here we have another controlled left traffic intersection, although it's good with greens, so it's kind of an easy one. The smoothness of the control, the car, just how smoothly the car is behaving it's hard to convey, I think, on camera, but it's just super smooth. Yeah, you have to feel it, really. So that's making a left turn. So it's gotten itself into the left turn lane. Again, we've never programmed in the notion of a turn lane or anything like that.
Or even a lane.
We doesn't even know what we've never. There's no line that says there's no line of code about traffic lanes at all.
Internal to its mind, it might know all these concepts and what we think about it, the hints and but you just not explicitly ask for it.
Yeah, but just like humans, yeah, just, Yeah, we've arrived at this random pin.
Try to pull over. Let's see if it does. Sometimes it doesn't go over.
Yeah, so it kind of so this is pretty cool. So the car just pulled over to the side of the road and
should get off and
parked. So it knows at the end of its destination, based on the video that's received, that at the end of the destination you pull over to the side and park.
Yeah,
and
it
so
also gets the exact pin location in relation to the navigation route. So just pin is close is a good spot here, also here, but in big parking lots where there might not be any map, you should just go as close to the pin as possible.
Right. Exactly.
Even without any route or anything like that.
Yeah, in fact, in so a Robotaxi world, it would actually just, probably perhaps know what you look like and just literally look for you.
Yeah. If you have a picture or something, you can just
look for exactly. You. It's like if you're signed up and it's like, just say, you don't have to, but if you want the car to literally find you, you just have to send it a picture of you, and it will look for you and wait for you.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can also say, drop me off at the Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
You should drop me off at the building's entrance as close to Starbucks as possible, as opposed to somewhere random.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. We'll head back to HQ or hit Tesla during HQ.
Do you want to do the fight or?
Where does he live? It's somewhere around here. Yeah, should we just Google it?
You can Google it.
As my good mate Nikhil points out, this is easily the most important picture in this entire run. It actually shows the drop-off point, actually shows where the car has to stop. And you can see that it sees the curb and misses that curb too while it parks. That is phenomenal.
I mean, we can knock on the door and whatever Google says.
Please say hi, I guess.
Yeah, we'll say hi. We'll be friendly. It's just a polite inquiry as to whether you would like to engage in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah,
If it's it's if not inconvenient, perhaps you would like to fight. Okay, so this is literally, we just Googled it. We don't know if this is where he actually lives or not, but we'll just go there. So, he's like, okay. So, let's go, guys. So now we're at least going to where Google says, Zuckerberg lives. I don't think this is really, it can't be really considered doxing if we just Googled it. So let's see if it's the drive correctly to where Google thinks you live. Doing a pretty good job of driving through the Palo Alto suburb. Sure, lovely.
Even the speed is just everything is automatic.
Right. Oh, is it going to stop? Yeah. Okay, good. Stopped at the red line.
Yeah, it was a late yellow surface.
Yeah. Pretty much what a person would do.
Yeah.
Like that. And also, Palo Alto really is a lovely town. It feels like a Truman Show.
It's best for families.
Yeah. It's like everything's perfect.
Yeah.
I'll turn it to let's try and see the comments. Yeah, there's no lane drifting. It's super smooth in the lane. And it doesn't confuse a bike lane with a real lane or anything like that. Yeah, the ride is super comfortable. As I see messages popping up, I'll try to answer them. That was a lot of messages, actually. Tweets. It's not gone into the... So here we are. Headed to like Edgewood Drive. I don't know if this is actually where it lives or not. Probably not, because I would expect it to be like a lot of security and stuff. Anyway, well, this is we are at the spot that's roughly where. But I don't think it just doesn't seem probably where it is, because it's probably security and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but it's sort of a little nice driving around Palo Alto.
And head back to the office.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Zuckerberg did say, like, name the date in bold letters or whatever on, whatever platform he's on. And so I'm like, hey, right about right now. So does now work? Alright, well, we can find him, so we are heading back to Tesla headquarters.
Our ship is waiting for the pedestrians or something.
It's like, I'm so really cautious about the pedestrians. Let's go off past them. We might film them, because it might be a little weird.
They're only approving it.
Just walk past. So. Yep, so the car is very, very polite with pedestrians. So it's stopped to wait for the couple to pass by, and now it's continuing to drive. So here we are in Palo Alto, driving on pure AI. headed back to Tesla Global Engineering Headquarters at Palo Alto. So how does it react to low visibility conditions is one of the questions. Like at night and stuff, I suppose, or rain and snow.
I think it works as you're expected to like slows down the rain and then drives at lower speed. And for uploaded intersections, it kind of like rolls forward and then checks the vehicles coming. That's one of the areas that we're trying to improve even more than just doing it.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we definitely we need training from all around the world is that the weather in California is amazing, and it's a as the song goes, like basically never rains in California. It's like sunny and nice almost all the time.
The drivers are pretty nice too.
Yeah, right. The drivers here are quite blind. So
We need some aggressive drivers and also pedestrians.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Like we need situations where like there's a parade or a crowded situation or a lot of pedestrians for whatever reason.
we want to be safe but also confident and be confident that we don't want to be too skittish and like hit the brakes all the time.
Yeah.
It is like unnecessary.
Yeah, but it's winter basically in New Zealand, and so we have like this snowy conditions there that we can train in. That's a dry place like this. It's a little tight. That's okay. Yeah, it is very conservative with bicyclists and pedestrians. So generally.
They had to turn away almost to like first cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is a tricky one. So this is turning left onto Middlefield in Palo Alto with where visibility is not great. So that's like
both sides.
the cars coming from both sides at pretty high speeds. But did it. Yeah, no problem. Great. So unprotected left onto a high-speed road, fairly high-speed road. No problem. Yeah, so V12 will be, I would say, actually smarts on it. ASS.
Yeah. Internally, we also call it like revenge summon almost because we want like someone to be like so much. Like, first summon was okay, but someone is going to be like so good that like.
I call it actually smarts on it. ASS. It's like, don't you want some ASS? Would you?
Speed up is quite nice too.
Yeah, exactly. Like the very, very intuitive, smooth speed up and acceleration in turns.
Yeah, even set speed is just set to some max value.
Yeah, exactly. It's like currently set to 85, but it's ignoring the set speed. It's driving at what would be intuitively the right speed for people to drive at.
You need a lane change to get into the master lane.
Exactly. So there's two lanes here. There's a lot more cars in that lane, fewer cars in this lane, and it's going straight. So it picked the lane with the fewest cars.
And the vehicle following it typically on the distance and the velocity and everything. Information. There's nothing here. It's set to follow the vehicles.
Yep. Exactly. There's no explicit distance that's programmed in for how close you should be behind a car. It's just video training.
It's intuitive.
Yeah, just intuitive
speeds, and this
right.
is kind of the right following speed.
Like what would humans generally do? And it picks like a reasonable follow distance and does that.
Yeah. The nice thing is, for bad weather conditions, for example, it will automatically increase the speed.
Yep.
And
or decrease the speed back.
Increase the distance.
Yeah, distance. Yeah.
This traffic light takes a while.
Oh, this is the El Camino and Page Mill, a classic Silicon Valley intersection. I've seen this intersection for 30 years, basically. Yeah.
I think our headquarters is the HP. It used to be the HP
Yeah.
headquarters, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The Tesla Global Engineering Headquarters in Palo Alto are the former Hewlett Packard headquarters.
So actually Silicon Valley started here.
Yeah, exactly. It's an honor to be for our global engineering headquarters to be the kind of where the birthplace of Silicon Valley was. So we'll see how it does in the parking lot. So because parking lots are complicated, especially the Tesla parking lot, which is jam packed. It's probably pretty full even on a Friday night, Friday evening. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock on a Friday. Yeah, this is a fairly tricky light. You got two, controlled lefts and two straight, basically two turn lanes and two straight lanes.
And it's sort of like merge after this turn, which is also interesting. It's like turn and merge.
Yeah, it's got to turn and merge simultaneously, which is tricky. Now, one of the interesting things about pure AI driving is that it actually doesn't need a map at all. So we could delete the navigation system, simply give it a GPS point and say, get to this GPS point somehow. We're not going to tell you how. You could say, like, you see that building in the distance, go there. And it would do that even with it might make some, get to go down a road that's a dead end and then have to reverse out. But it would basically be able to do what a human can do. Where if you said, please go to, point at something and go there. So that's going into the parking lot. There is no explicit map of the parking lot, so now it is just trying to get to a GPS point. Yeah, that's how it got to the point, and that's it. All right, so that was the FSD 12 beta drive. Super smooth. One intervention, which we'll fix with a bit more training data. Otherwise, really, I would say, if this was a Uber driver, pretty much apart from that one intervention, 5-star. Yeah. So, all right, thanks everyone for tuning in.
So there you go, guys. The car did jump that red, and I showed you in my video that car did jump the red in one other situation too. So what would Tesla do? They would mark this and train the car over and over again, or train the neural net over and over again. So for some folks who think, oh, this is a big loss or a big mistake that Tesla does, it is not. It is a very simple solution. Not simple in a sense that, it is just one line of code you change. It's simple in the sense that they add more data and train it. And that is what is super cool about this entire run. I hope you have watched till thus far and learned a lot about what Tesla is doing with regards to neural net and training the neural net so that it behaves like what a human being would do. This is what we did too. When we were young drivers without experience, we did make a little bit of silly mistakes. We were jittery about a few situations, whether the car will come here, car will come here. We did all that, and in our brain, we learned how to do it, and then it became muscle memory. That's exactly what neural net is going to do, and this is exactly what Tesla AI is going to achieve with regards to general AI too. I hope you really liked this video. I'll see you guys in another interesting video very soon. Until then, this is National Tesla and the Gong signing off. Peace.